Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Rajesh Gautam from Dr. Harisingh Gaur Vishwavidyalaya Sagar, and today I am going to discuss with you a module entitled Concept of Race from the paper entitled Human Population Genetics. So, let us see what we are going to learn in this module. First, we will understand the social and biological concept of race. This module aims to understand the various physical and biological criteria of racial classifications, and we will understand the primary races of man with a greater emphasis on the racial elements present in Indian population. So, let us come to understanding the race. What is the race? So, in layman's language, race refers to the classification of human beings' ancestry, its origin and ethnicity. The concept of race has varied across the whole world and has been subjected to controversy for social, biological and political reasons. Race brings about differences between skin color, language, nationality and religion. Various disciplines at different time span had tried to classify the races of the world. The term race is used as an eminent classificatory tool in understanding human differences and diversity. Human differences can be studied by knowing the genetic differences, which in turn helps in understanding human evolution, development and disease. Application of the term race in various senses is used to connote a group of having certain well defined or marked characters in common. The characters or notions at which differences should be laid differ from one individual's opinion to another. Just for example, all fair skinned people cannot be grouped under white race. The concept of race can be understood in two different landscapes, that is biological and social. The concept of race provides a frame where all individuals can be arranged systematically. Houghton has defined race as a great division of mankind, where the members individually vary and are characterized by combinations of morphological and metrical features which are non-adaptive and are derived from a common descent. He further divided races into primary and secondary. Primary races resulted due to early geographical differentiation and genetic isolation. It resulted by mutation, selection, migration and genetic drift, whereas secondary races came into existence due to hybridization among the primary races. Ashley Montagu defined race as populations differing with other in frequency of some genes having a capability to exchange across boundaries with other population of different species. So, let we understand the races and its social and biological concept of race. Race can be understood as scientific concept as well as socially construct. So first, let I will tell you scientific concept. It is a unit within a species that is having a evolutionary difference from different population within same species and is achieving differentiation at genetic level. The fixation index between two population is 0.25. A new species is produced after a long time if there is reproductive isolation. For better understanding, you can visualize the image that concept of race can be divided or understood by two ways. One is scientific and another is socially constructed. In scientific, there is phrase a population or group of population within a species that has a definite biological characteristics, that is scientific concept of race. And the socially constructed concept of race is a set of cultural or ethnic factors combined with morphological characters like skin color, hair color and body shape along with biological characteristics. The socially constructed concept of race can be further elaborated as in following ways. Race is access to wealth, power and prestige, availing facilities like education, housing and other valued resources, discrimination on all grounds, where to go, what to wear, what to speak and what to eat, all is socially constructed concept of race. According to Scott Malcolmson, race is not a fixed, concrete, natural attribute. He further illustrated the institutionalization of physical appearance socially or culturally and historically constructed categories defined and assigned significance by the society, social meaning which has been legally constructed, shaped by those in power. In 1965, Sarkar stated various points to be kept in mind before studying the various races. According to him, the racial classification should not be based on a single trait. He further stated, while studying the racial classification, more emphasis should be given in studying the racial criteria. In order to avoid inaccuracy during studying race, more people should be studied. Sarkar further illustrated the various features of racial classification depended on the age and sex of the individual. Therefore, a comparison between individuals of same age and sex should be carried out. Although people obviously differ from each other physically, we are not able to attribute differences in culture to differences in physique or mentality. In our study of culture, therefore, we may regard human race as of uniform quality, that is, as a constant and hence we eliminate it from our study. Leslie White stated this in reference of race. He further stated about physical characters and biological characters, which is shown or listed here as skin color, hair, stature, head form, face form, nose form, eye, finger, and palm print. The list of biological characters includes ABO blood group, color blindness, and growth. So now let us discuss about physical criteria of race one by one. First is skin color. The skin color or the color of skin is an eminent character that attracts one's interest and is also placed as the first criteria for racial classification. By some authorities, the pigmentation of the skin is due to the presence of various granules in the deeper layer of epidermis, and frequency among the presence of these granules is lead to different skin color among people. Like for example, the Tasmanians residing in the temperate areas have darker skin, whereas the Americans, Indians living in tropical areas possess dark skin color. The people of the world can be classified into three groups on the basis of skin color, that is leucoderm or white skinned people. These are Europeans, Western Asiatics, North Americans, Polynesians, etc., who come under this group. They vary from pinkish white in the north to tawny white or light brown in the south. Xanthoderm or yellow skinned people, they are the best example in the criteria is that of Asiatic mongoloids, Armenoids, Hottentots, and Bushmen. These exhibit yellowish tinge in color of their skin. Then third is melanoderm or black skinned people. The Negroes, Negroids, Papuans, Melanesians, Pre-Dravidians, and Australians are the best example of this group. They are usually a dark chocolate brown but are really black in color in Africa. After skin color, hair defines the next important characteristics feature for racial classification. Hair grow abundantly on head, and no population in the world possess an inherent baldness. Hair in a population varies from color, texture, form, quantity, whorl, and cross section. Hair form can be divided into three broad groups. This is Leotrichi or straight hair, Chemotrichi or baby hair, and Eulotrichi or woolly hair. So let me discuss it one by one gradually. The criterion for racial classification are based on physical traits which include hair also. When studying hair, Hair can be studied as hair form, hair color, hair texture, quantity, hair whorl, and cross section of hair. In hair form, generally we study straight hair, baby hair, or woolly hair. In color of hair, we see whether it is dark brown, black, blonde, or grey. Change in hair color is evident with an increasing age. In case of hair texture, we have to examine whether hair are coarse, medium, or fine. In case of examining quantity of hair, we have to see whether thick hair, scanty hair, or its distribution is medium or rich. By examining hair, we also examine hair whorl on head. It can be clockwise or anti-clockwise. The cross section of hair also provide some evidences for classification and differentiation of pupil on the basis of type of hair. It can be circular or oval. The third criteria for classification of race is stature. Stature as a physical trait does not serve as satisfactory criteria for defining race, as it is greatly influenced internally on the configuration of genes and externally to a number of environmental conditions. It also depends internally on hormonal secretion from glands named thymus and pituitary gland, and is much particularly affected by the dietic pattern, means what is an individual is eating. Stature also depends on the differences in occupation, social class, hygiene, and other environmental conditions. Haddon categorized on the basis of stature and provided a scale for measuring stature. He classified stature in pygmy, short, medium, tall, and very tall. Pygmy are pupil having stature below 148 cm. The short pupil may vary from 148 cm to 158 cm. The medium statured pupil may have stature 158 cm to 168 cm, and according to this scale, the tall pupil may vary from 168 cm to 172 cm, and very tall pupil may have stature more than 172 cm. The next physical criteria of race is fourth one, and it is known as head form. A very valuable character is the general form of head. When it is observed from the top, it can be seen as long, short, narrow, and broad. This distinction can be made by cephalic index, which is the ratio of breadth of its length, the latter taken as 100. The head form ranges amongst the three primary races: Negroid, Caucasoid, and Mongoloids, from the dolichocephaly to brachycephaly through mesocephaly. In Mongoloids and Negroids, the brachycephalic and dolichocephalic elements are rarely present, whereas in Caucasoid, no form of head is present numerically. Martin have provided a classification of head form. According to this classification, the head form can be classified into hyperdolichocephalic, dolichocephalic, mesocephalic, brachycephalic, and hyperbrachycephalic. The hyperdolichocephalic head are very long and narrow. The index value may below 69.9. The dolichocephalic is long and narrow head, and the index value may vary from 70 to 75.9. Mesocephalic is medium type of head, in which index value vary from 76 to 80.9. Brachycephalic is short and broad head, in which index value vary 81 to 85.5. The hyperbrachycephalic head are very short and broad, and it can be categorized on the basis of index value 85.6 and above. The fifth physical criteria of race is face form. Face may be different in shape, varying from oval, round to square, but the exact shape of the face can be understood by scientific measurements. Face length is measured from the nasion to the lowest point in the middle line of the lower jaw, and the breadth measured by spreading calipers. Facial index is the length expressed as percentage of the breadth. The facial index tells us whether the face is broad, medium, or narrow. Morphological facial index can be understood by this formula. It is calculated as morphological facial length over bizygomatic breadth into 100. In studying face, prognathism is a feature to be studied, and a marked elongated and prominence of lower jaw is observed among the people of Africa and Oceania. These characters are dependent on the size of the jaw. Though the face criterion cannot be used extensively for purpose of racial discrimination, as it is affected by age, function of sex, female possesses comparatively short and broad faces than the males of the same species. So after face form, another criteria for racial classification is nose. The nasal index of the skull is the ratio of breadth of nasal aperture to the nasal height taken from the nasion. The different parts of nose is root and bridge. The bridge may be low, that is platitonic, medium, mesopic, or broad, prosophic. The bridge is that portion of nose which extends from the point below nasion to the tip of nose. The bridge in the profile may be straight, concave, convex, or concave convex, and the tip of nose may be rounded, sharp, or pointed, thick or thin. Now let's talk about eyes. Houghton classified eyes into two groups. The one was mongoloid type and another was non-mongoloid type. A mongoloid type consists of Mongolian eyelid, where a fold, inner epicanthus or epicanthic of skin hang over the upper lid and extends from outer corner to inner corner and appears not to be straight on an axis. The kind of eyelids show variation with different age group, young, middle-aged and old, and sex on the basis of sex, male and female, and occurs among Mongoloids, Bushmen, African, Negroes and Hottentot. The non-Mongoloid type is open, wide and straight, and eye fold is absent and is observed among the members of white racial stock. Eye color should also be given emphasis in studying about the criteria of race. Eye color is dependent on the amount of pigment present in iris, which is further dependent on two factors. One is the amount of pigment present in the backside of the iris, and second is the amount of pigment present in the front layer. Different colors of eye is due to different relative qualities of the brown pigments. The eighth physical criteria of race is finger and palm print. The palm and sole prints have been used as criteria for racial classification because they are non-adaptive, they not subjected to mutation and could not be modified by environment. The finger pattern consists of arches, loops and whorls as identified by Galton. For further understanding of dermatographic features as criterion or physical criterion for classification of race, let's see this table which have prevalence of whorls, loops and arches in three traditional racial groups. As you can visualize, among Mongoloid, the prevalence of whorls is 40 to 50%, loops 50 to 60% and arches 1 to 2%. Whereas among Caucasoid, whorls are 20 to 30%, loops 60 to 70% and arches 4 to 7%. Among Negroid, whorls 30%, loops 50 to 60% and arches 6 to 7%. Biological criterion of race. Here we will discuss about three main biological criteria. These are blood groups, growth and color blindness. So let's come to blood groups. Each constituent of the blood is genetically determined and this factor is being utilized by the scientist and it served as a reliable criteria for classification. A lot of advantage is seen in placing blood group as a racial criteria, and these are blood group are inherited in a Mendelian fashion. They do not change by the influence of climate, illness and food. Blood group arose early in man's evolution. The blood groups are sharply distinguishable in characters and form a stable and objective criteria. The second biological criteria of race is growth. Church demonstrated a remarkable differences between Negroes and whites with respect to body proportions. Excessive length of appendages, that is length of forearm in comparison to upper arm, and smaller hip breadth with respect to shoulder length can be seen in Negroes when compared to the whites. A superiority of stature can be seen in Negroes when compared to Dutch. The third biological criteria of race is color blindness. It affects a significant percentage of population. It is the X-linked recessive disorder which results in inability to perceive differences among objects. Its manifestation is 1 among 3 lakh persons and is frequent in females rather than males. Let we further understand primary races of men in context of different physical criterion. First, you can visualize it from this table. See, first is head form. In Caucasoid, generally it is long to broad. Among Mongoloid, it is broad, whereas in Negroid, the head form is long. Next is head height. Among Caucasoid, it is medium to very high. Among Mongoloid, it is medium. Among Negroid, it is long to medium. Next is face form. Among Caucasoid, it is narrow to medium broad. Among Mongoloid, medium to very broad. Among Negroid, it is medium to broad narrow. Prognathism, it is absent among Caucasoid, rare among Mongoloid, but there is marked prognathism among Negroid. Nose form, among Caucasoid it is long and narrow. It is medium among Mongoloids, whereas broad in Negroid. The bridge of nose is high among Caucasoid, low among Mongoloid, and low in Negroid. The profile of nose in Caucasoid is straight, concave or convex, whereas among Mongoloid usually it is concave. Among Negroid it is straight or concave. Eye form, occasionally presence of lateral fold in Caucasoid, whereas in Mongoloid essentially there is medial epicanthic fold in eyes, whereas among Negroid the eye form is vertical. Among Negroid, vertical fold is common among Negroid. The color of eye is light blue or dark brown among Caucasoid. So on the basis of eye form and eye color, the races can be classified. The next criteria is hair form, and it also varies among Caucasoid, Mongoloid and Negroid, as the Negroid have woolly hair, Mongoloid have straight, whereas in Caucasoid straight to wavy. Body hair among Caucasoid may vary from moderate to heavy, sparse among Mongoloid and slight in Negroid. The lip form among Caucasoid is thin to medium, among Mongoloid it is medium, and in Negroid it is very thick and averted. Skin color, it is reddish white to light brown among Caucasoid. Among Mongoloid it is light yellow to yellowish. Among Negroid it is brown to black. Stature among Caucasoid is medium to tall. Among Mongoloid it is medium short to medium tall, and among Negroid it is very short to tall. So my dear students, after knowing about primary races of mankind, let me discuss about racial elements in India discussed by different researchers. First, we will discuss about Herbert Risley and his classification. He named 7 racial types in Indian population. These are Turkey Iranian. First, let me take up it. They are tall and fair and are found in the frontier province and Balochistan areas of Pakistan. Second is Indo-Aryan. According to him, they are tall, have long head, prominent nose, fair complexion and dark colored eyes, and are found in eastern part of Punjab, Rajasthan and Kashmir. The third racial element discussed by Risley is Scytho-Dravidian. According to him, they are broad-headed, fine nose, fair complexion and medium statured and are traced in Saurashtra, Kurg and hilly tracts of Madhya Pradesh. The fourth element he discussed is Aryo-Dravidian. The Aryo-Dravidian have long head and the complexion varies from light brown to black and found in Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan and Bihar. The next element discussed by Herbert Risley is the Mongol Dravidians. These people are generally black and round-headed, having medium nose and medium height, and are found in Bengal and Odisha. And the next element he discussed is Mongoloid. This racial type stretches from Nepal and Assam to Burma. The last is the Dravidian. They have dark complexion, dark eyes, short stature, long head and broad nose, and they are found in southern India, particularly south of Madhya Pradesh and Chota Nagpur. Classification by Haddon. The population of India, according to him, consists of 5 different racial groups, and he called them first pre-Dravidian, which includes mostly tribes, then Dravidians who are long-headed and brunette. The third is Indo-Aryans who are fair complexion and long-headed. The fourth is Indo-Alpines who are broad-headed, and fifth, according to him, are Mongolians. B.S. Guha in 1937 classified Indian population on the basis of different racial elements. He classified Indian population into 6 racial groups. I will tell you each of them. First, the Negritos. They have small head which is round, medium or long. Their nose is straight, flat and broad. Stature is short. Skin color varies from dark brown to brown, smooth. They have smooth supraorbital ridges. This is represented by Kadars, Palyans, Irulas and primitive tribes of the land. The next is the Proto-Australoid. They possess dolichocephalic head which is short. They have dark brown skin, complexion, delicate limbs, curly hair and short stature. They represent the Australian tribe and differ to that from the Negroes. According to Guha, third racial element in India is Mongoloid. The Mongoloid have scanty growth of hair on body and face, obliquely set eyes with epicanthic fold, straight hair and prominent cheek bones. They are further divided into long-headed and broad-headed. They represent people of the Assam and tribes of Nepal. The fourth racial element according to Guha in India is called Mediterranean. They are characterized by long head with arched forehead, long face, narrow and prominent nose, light skin color, plentiful body and facial hair, and slender wilt body. They represent people from Punjab, Sindh, Rajasthan and Patna. According to Guha, there is another element, racial element in India which he called Western Brachycephals. They have been divided into 3 types: Alpinoid, who have broad head, medium stature, light skin color, Dinaric, who have long nose, dark eyes and hair, and Armenoids, who have prominent nose, marked occiput, long nose and dark skin. The Parsis of Bombay, Bania of Bengal and Kayast of Bengal represent this group. Nordic race. They possess head is long, fair complexion, arched forehead, tall stature and powerful body build. The example of Nordic race in India are Kho of Chitral, the Red Kafirs and Khatas etc. In 1961, as a Sarkar classified Indian population into 6 racial groups. These are Australoid, Indo-Aryan, Indo-Scythian, Mundari speakers, Far Eastern and Mongoloids. We should understand each of them. First, Australoid, they are short-statured people having dark complexion, dolichocephalic head and platyrrhine nose and wavy hair. The tribes of South India like Urali, Kannikar, Malapantaram, Paniyan and Kadar represent this type. Second is Indo-Aryan. They are tall, they have light skin and eye color, they have robust physique, long and massive head. Valtis of Hindu Kush mountain are the best representative of this type. The third is Indo-Scythian. They are medium statured and possess monocephalic head and are found in regions of Bihar, Bengal and Assam. According to Sarkar, the fourth racial element may be called Mundari speakers. They are characterized by stocky, thickest pupil with short stature and robust body. They are confined to river valleys and plateaus of eastern central India, that is Chota Nagpur, Odisha hills and Madhya Pradesh. Far Eastern is another racial element identified by Sarkar, and they are characterized by dark skin, broad to baby, broad head and short stature. They are found in the Tuticorin, Tibetan Valley coast and Chittagong Hill tract. The last element described by Sarkar is Mongoloids. They have a yellowish tinge of skin, sparse distribution of hair in their face and body. They are distributed in the northeastern border and foothills of Himalayas. Levi-Claude Strauss sums up the concept of race into 4 points. First one is there is a correlation between genetic heritage on the one hand and intellectual aptitudes and moral inclination on the other. Second, all members of human groups share this heritage on which these aptitudes and inclination depends. Third, these groups called races can be evaluated as a function of the quality of their genetic heritage. Fourth, these differences authorize the so-called superior races to command and exploit the others. So, my dear students, now let us summarize what we have learned in this module entitled Concept of Race. As I told you, race is a social, cultural, political and economical part of a system and is linked with terms like black, white, Asian, English, Gypsies, Latino, etc. The concept of race provides a frame where all the individuals can be arranged systematically. Human population have not been reproductively isolated long enough to have developed into biological races. Early human classification into races have been dependent solely on the evaluation of phenotypic characters, manifest biological appearance, skin color, eyes, nose shape, hair texture, etc. Race refers to a person's physical evaluation such as skin color, nose, head form, palm print, hair or eye color. Ethnicity encompasses the cultural factors including nationality, regional culture, ancestry and language. An example of race is brown, white or black skin. All form various parts of the world, while an example of ethnicity is German or Spanish ancestry, regardless of race. A long continued geographical isolation in areas of characterization does tend to produce a general uniformity of physical appearance which may term as race or stock, whereas geographical isolation are a big hindrance to cultural growth. As quoted by anthropologists, the history of mankind lies on the basis of the cultural advancement seen in culturally and socially adhered group learned from the neighboring group. Racial classifications are made on the basis of certain general traits and the important requirements were its objectivity, non-adaptive nature, non-alterable, not subjected to a high rate of mutation and its control by a non-genetic mechanism. Formal human classification as in Linnaeus Systema Naturae in 1958, he divided mankind into 4 types. These are Europeans, Americans, Asiatics and Africanus, whereas John Frederick Blumenbach, the father of physical anthropology, divided humankind into 5 races in the year 1795, namely Caucasian, Malay, Ethiopian, American and Mongolian. It can be stated that the Indian population is composed of important races of the world. All the races in India over the past centuries have got mixed with one another due to intermarriage. As such, now there is no race in India which is completely pure. Therefore, in true sense, no rigid separation of these races is possible. Basically, the concept of purity of race is itself is a vague concept and nowhere in world pure race exists, because in the course of time due to intermarriages there is mixing is going on and no race can be said as completely pure, and it is a vague concept. Therefore, in true sense, no rigid separation of these races is possible. Thank you very much.